Hello everybody, this is Clive5 bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time a matchup between TASalvatioN, the blue Terran in the 8 o'clock position, and Savior, the red Zerg in the 11 o'clock position. Now I'm not sure if this is the same Savior from the Brood War days, the same Savior who said he was going to destroy everyone in 2010 and then proceeded to basically lose every tournament he played. But I don't. Well, let's see here. He does have a pretty decent APM, I had to say. Now, I might have mentioned this last time, but Blizzard changed up the APM calculations. So this new APM here is actually a bit lower than what EPM is, which still isn't the same as what APM used to be in Brood War. So. EPM is probably what you're used to in terms of the statistics, but nevertheless, that's what Blizzard's given us now. At least they kept it in the game. I don't know what their deal is. APM is supposed to be more, realistic of what are meaningful clicks, or actions, I guess. So anyway, we're seeing a supply depot and barracks going down at the front door of Salvation, and looks like we might be seeing, we'll see what he does at 200 minerals here, but I'm guessing he's going to go straight for that hatchery here, and indeed he is, it looks like. Not uncommon at all in this map, which is Antiga Shipyard, by the way, and oh, check that out. That was a money scout right there. From TASalvatioN. As you notice, he just sent that SCV up right as that Overlord was peeking into the base. That was awesome, I have to say. So yeah, now you Terran players know at 2 minutes and probably about 20 seconds, you can just send up an SCV if your opponent happens to be sending an Overlord there, and actually save yourself a scout. If TASalvatioN had not scouted that Overlord, I'm sure he would have promptly set out an SCV to see what was going on. But wow, he really got lucky there. Well, not lucky, it's a skillful move, but lucky that Savior happened to be in this position and sent that Overlord there. So anyway, as I was saying, Savior, yeah, definitely a smart move to put down that hatch first. Very easy to defend, natural expansion here on Antiga Shipyard, and well, 200 minerals. Oh, not going for gas, just now going for gas. That's kind of a late gas and doing... This is weird. Doing a gas trick at 19 supply. Oh, maybe just to hold over because he couldn't... he didn't have his Overlord up yet. But I'm finding it curious that he doesn't have any gas being produced yet, instead electing to get really early queens up before anything else, which I mean, I guess that's valid strategy to go. In the meantime, factory coming down here for TASalvatioN, and 3 Marines headed outbound just in time for this whatchamacallit to start being produced, and these Zerglings are going to get obliterated. Splat goes the Zergling. And now Savior is going to have to watch out for these drones actually planting down a spine crawler, but it's not going to be done by the time these Marines are up in here causing trouble. I don't think they're going to get very far just because, well, they're up against the Queen, which can micro well, but really they only need to delay for another, 30 seconds or so. So what are we seeing here? Command center and reactor. Oh, switching that factory onto the reactor. So now we're going to see a bunch of Hellions being produced and a tech lab on that barracks. So I'm curious to see whether or not Salvation's going to flip those once again and start researching, say, Infernal Pre-Igniter. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, here come these Marines back. Didn't accomplish too much, and these spine crawlers are out ready to defend. Now finally gas coming down for Savior. But a few Hellions coming in. They might be able to cause a little bit of havoc, though honestly not too much. I wonder if Hellions can squeeze through there. It's a pretty narrow gap. If the Hellions have to try to come through here in order to get a run by into Savior's main, they are not going to be too successful. Instead, just electing to chill out right here. Ooh, Spine Caller's moving out to get a better position. If the Hellions are going to make a move, now is the time. I'm not sure if they see this. No, just out of the vision of those Hellions. So that is a bummer, kind of a missed opportunity. Instead, sending a couple more. Maybe going to wait until he has enough force for a guaranteed run by. Actually, also researching Stim pack. So we may be seeing more of a mech-focused army. And now that factory moving in to build its own tech lab. Meanwhile, a barracks going down on top of that reactor. So we will definitely be seeing more of a infantry heavy army. Wow, couldn't think of that word, that infantry word. And wow, this is really nicely blocked up. Hatchery is not something I see too commonly placed at the natural here, just because, yeah, sorry, I got a few more sniffles in here too. Just because with the Queen's larva, it doesn't seem to be as much of an issue, but Savior definitely going for more of a defensive approach here, and I like the placement of this hatchery, especially with the Queens right here. I would actually prefer to see the Queens sort of jammed in this entry here, just to help prevent against a run by, and that is a lot of Zerglings, and even another Queen going out to see what's going on, being burned alive by those Hellions. Tank with siege being produced as well. Meanwhile, speed just about researched. I'll be curious to see if Savior decides to do anything now that that speed is underway. And yikes, spine crawlers lifting up and trying to take this opportunity to take down a spine crawler, but really Hellions versus spine crawler, not too good actually. Basically Hellions against anything that's not light, not too successful. Finally going for a hatchery and building a third command center for Salvation. Finally seeing that starport for support. I'm guessing that's going to be for medevacs. A couple tanks out too, and wow, that's a huge ball of Zerglings and a nice defensive wall from Salvation. So both players really just taking their time, turtling up. We'll probably smash their armies into each other. Level 1 upgrades for Salvation. Third expansion going down for Savior. This one is also pretty easy to defend. Just the only thing to look out for are these destructible rocks. But, you know, there's plenty of time to defend against that. And looks like Savior might be going out to take a look. I don't know. Well, I guess I'll take this time to say also hello to my newest subscribers. Oh yeah, I tried to do that earlier on. Say hello to my new subscribers and thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Of course, spread the word if you like what I'm doing. Comment and like and all that jazz. Oh, I guess I don't have a Facebook, so I can't really be liked. But you can thumbs up. That works too. Looks like Salvation might move out as he's taking the third. And honestly, gotta say, against this all Zergling army, Savior looks, well, his position looks kind of precarious. If these siege tanks, well, if these tanks, as long as they don't get caught unsieged, they're going to do just fine. And with the Hellions support and, of course, Marines, this is just like Zerglings asking to die. And really, there's nothing else but all Zerglings. All Zerglings. And now the tanks are surrounded. Surrounded by all those Zerglings. And nicely, well, it ends up being sort of a wash, honestly. But hey, check that out. Siege tank versus a Zergling. Looks like the siege tank might have to actually run. Why is he running away? Just pew pew a couple times, and that's all you need. It looks like Salvation's preparing for a drop, however, and please don't tell me that this siege tank... Wow. I can't believe that that siege tank almost got taken out. Here comes the drop ship, the medevac rather. Marines headed inbound. Not stimming yet, I guess. This is really an underwhelming drop. Now finally stimming, but these Zerglings are going to come out and possibly get a surround on these Marines, and yikes, it looks like they're going to go down pretty easily. Yeah, picking up a couple of them, but they're all very badly damaged. So let's check out Army tab. Savior doing well, honestly, but all he has is Zerglings. I don't really understand that. He was up against siege tanks, and I think the thing that hurt him is that Salvation moved his Marines back away from the siege tanks when really he needed to kind of add a little bit of additional fodder for the siege tanks. And uh-oh, infestors burrowed, moving in, no detection around. Well, there is some scan, but I fear that these infestors are going to do quite well. In fact, only a single Marine. Does this infestor have fungal? I wasn't paying attention to the research, but just a couple of fungals will do a number against SCVs. Just now, Salvation building a missile turret, and not doing a whole lot here. Infested Terrans, they're okay, I guess. Infestors running away into this shroud of gaseous whatever. Wow, actually getting quite a few probe kills. 31 by that little attack. I'm surprised. And now Salvation's going to be weakened in the economic game. Just check out that economic damage right here. Whoop. Okay. Well, if you want to go to that tab. Savior harvesting twice as much and still continuing only to produce Zerglings and Infestors, which is quite odd. However, building an Ultralisk cavern and is going to be soon sitting here at 3-3 melee attacks, which is just going to make those Ultralisks even stronger. So it looks like Salvation might be in a bit of trouble here. Might have trouble defending. There's not much here to defend this third. Well, if the rocks get broken down. Man, that is a ton of Zerglings. 3 Ultralisks in production, but so much in the bank. Even though he got his econ reamed, Salvation has way too much in the bank right now. So I wonder if these two players aren't like almost completely unmatched. Continuing to try to rely on these drops, which just are not working. And Infestors just fungal, keeping those dropships in place. It doesn't look like they're going to fare too well. Savior probably could have done a little bit better if he'd used a couple more fungals. But anyway, electing just to back off and buff up his attack force, which should go move at any minute. Take down these rocks. There's nothing between you. Maybe that's not as big of a focus as needed. I don't know. Whatever. So, boy, what are we seeing? Let's take a look at the army size. Charging headfirst into this large barricade of tanks, but I fear the tanks are just going to melt, and indeed that is what's happening. Tanks don't do so great against a lot of... Is that a Thor? He built a Thor against Ultralisks? It's really not the smartest idea. And somehow this planetary fortress is just going to get utterly destroyed by these 3-3 Zerglings. I wonder if they're... No, I don't think they're cracklings quite yet. More Ultralisks in production, and Salvation is just in a ton of trouble. Oh, I think he pulled out those Infestors again. I'm not sure if those got picked off or not. Here comes... Well, that Thor might be stuck. And it looks like Savior's just going to mop this whole thing up. There are way too many Ultralisks to deal with. Really, Salvation needs way more Marauders. Not enough time for that, and Marauders were in production. But yeah, just not enough out there, and Savior easily cleans up this game. Now again, I'm wondering if this is the Savior, so if you happen to know if Savior on the ladder happens to be the same as... I think this is the US ladder. I think I was trying to filter by US games. But if this Savior, if you know, happens to be the same Savior as the Brood War Savior, definitely let me know. I would appreciate that. Other things I'll just say since the game is done here. if I'm going to be starting a new series on the game Warp, if you happen to know anything about it. It's an indie sort of puzzle game thing. So that's my next walkthrough project coming up, and as well I'll be doing some more. Well, I'm going to try to get more voices into the realm of StarCraft with a little bit I call Clive and Friends, which is I'm just going to pull in people I know to start with to get them casting with me, and hopefully that will sort of take off and maybe perhaps get some of you listeners involved in casting with me as well. So as you know, I've cast every once in a while with Bone Carlos and Fusion, and certainly I'm going to continue to do those casts, but I just want to get more people involved with casting StarCraft and sort of that whole bit. So I guess if you're interested right away, just let me know, drop me a message or comment or something. But in the meantime, I'll just sort of start getting this off the ground with people I know, and we'll see how that goes. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys all later.